Hi, welcome to Top Chef University. I'm Spike from Top Chef Chicago. Our second course is all about the foundations of cooking, and this is your next lesson, pureed soups. Pureed soups are elegant and delicious. Today, we're going to show you how to make a creamy, roasted tomato soup. No soup is as nostalgic as See, the fun thing about cooking is that you can just have a lot of fun with it. Be a little messy, season up from up high with your eyes. It's all fun and games. You can't take it too serious. So we got that looking really great. My favorite part of the day, crushing these garlics. And it's okay because these are going to get pureed in the soup anyways. So that's really great. A couple bay leaves, can't forget these bay leaves. And a little bit of thyme all over the place. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're gonna get that going. Gonna finish off a little bit more aceite de oliva, olive oil in Spanish. And our oven's at 400 degrees. We're gonna slide them right in there. And we're gonna take these ones I made a little bit before out that are ready to go. Now look at these things, beautifully caramelized. You can just see all the ends. They're just, the flavor has reduced. It's just sweeter, it's more concentrated. You have the onions, it's just delicious. Just remember to take these stems out. You don't want these in your soup or your puree. So we're gonna take those out, like so. And then I'm gonna turn the heat up on the pot right here. I'm going to add this cream because I want the cream to reduce a little bit before I add everything. So we'll go ahead and add that in there. Yeah, we could probably take most of this half carafe. That's beautiful. And now we're going to let that cook down a little bit. We also have a little bit of stock to thin this out whenever we're ready. It looks perfect. And in the meantime, while this cream is reducing just a little bit, I'm going to cut these beautiful little croutons to make some bread with, to make some great little garnish. So we're going to cut them on a bias Try to get it as evenly as possible. I think 2 will do the trick. There we go. A little bit of olive oil and salt, like so. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. A little bit of salt. And we're going to put them on this grill pan. I'm just going to grill them on one side. So I got this cream, it's reducing, and now I think it's time to take all this beautiful goodness off of the pan. So I'm just going to scrape all this forward like that. So you can see how I'm scraping. Look at that. See that? That's caramel. That's pure natural caramelization of the tomatoes and the onions, and that's where all your flavors come from. So you don't want to miss out on that. You want to push it all forward. Make sure you get all of it together. And then slowly drop, and you got that roasted garlic that's in there that just got sweet. Got those tomatoes, those onions, and that thyme. I mean, this is exciting. So just scrape that out, put it in there. Perfect. So now, like I talked to you before, the cream's going to act like a sponge. It's going to really just absorb all this beautiful flavor. There we go. So I think it's almost time to puree. Now, back home in my kitchen, we'd use an immersion blender, this little sucker, because we're professionals anyway, we know what we're doing. And these can get pretty big. I mean, we have some rock star immersion blenders in our kitchen, and it's really easy. You just plug them in, take that in, and you just give it a little burring. But we won't do that. Most of you don't have this, so we're going to use the traditional blender. Now, make sure, a couple key things, that your blender is off before plugging it in, and that you have all the parts, which would be the top, and this little plastic thing that fits in the top too, because you don't want to burn yourself when you're blending everything up. Bread's looking great. I'm going to use a little ladle here. Put a couple ladles of chicken stock in here. And if you're a vegetarian, listen, that vegetarian stock we made earlier, you can just use that. You don't have to put chicken stock in it. I think I'm going to add 3 ladles of chicken stock in here. Beautiful. I'm going to mix that all around like so. Put a little bit on high heat. Let it do its thing. I'm going to get ready to blend. So I'm going to clear the table. One of the garnishes that we're also going to be putting as well as the crostini is a little bit of beautiful creme fraiche. And I like whipping it just to give it a little bit better of a texture. So I'll do that while I'm waiting for the cream soup to reduce a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a nice canal of creme fraiche in the top of this afterwards. So don't want to whip it too much because you don't want to make butter. So that's pretty much where you want it. Beautiful. Just like that. I think the tomato soup is ready to go. Now, a safe way to do this at home, instead of just pouring a big pot into the blender, is just taking your pot and putting it next to it and just ladling the soup into the pot. A lot safer. You're dealing with a very hot product here. You don't want to burn yourself. So just ladle the soup into the blender like this. I find soup such a rewarding thing to make. The final product is so rewarding. So we got most of the chunks out there that won't splatter us when we put them in the blender. The rest you can just do by hand. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that steam. Okay, so one thing you want to make sure of is put this top on. Put a towel over the top and hold it down. Most people don't realize that heat expands. So what you want to do is you just want to pulse this tomato soup a little by little. Just see, look, just give it a little, just until it incorporates, until you know it's not going to explode all over the place. Because that's the last thing you want is tomato soup in your face. You want to eat it. We'll just do that, continue this, just like that. See? All right. Now we can give it a good little, yeah, there we go. That's love right here. Love in a blender. Et voila. Beautiful cream of tomato soup. So I think we're almost ready to plate. Oh my God, that smells delicious. I could smell all the ingredients we just put in there. So yeah, so we're gonna get this beautiful bowl here. And we're going to pour it in there, just like so. And again, if you feel like your soup's a little too thick, you can always thin it out. I like a thick, hearty soup. Most people might think this is a little too thick, but you see, there's no problem with just taking your ladle, going back to the stock, and just adding a little bit more chicken stock if you want it to thin it out. So that's just a little trick. Especially if you have a lot of guests at home, you might want to just try to stretch it out. We got this beautiful crouton that we made a little earlier. Look at those beautiful hash marks. That's a pro right there. I'm just going to set that on the edge, like so, of the plate. And let's taste the soup first for a second, just to make sure it's right where we want it to be. All that effort, all that passion, all that love really paid off. This is perfect. You don't have to do anything to it. All we're going to do is finish it off with a little bit of creme fraiche, a little cannella creme fraiche, and I don't know why, just a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of olive oil, just around. And you know what? Why not a little chiffonade of basil? What we like to do is, I love to roll this up just like that, and then you got to slice through. You don't want to chop because you end up bruising the basil. Just slice through. See how I'm doing that? Slice through. Nice, rustic, beautiful soup. There you go. That's how we do it. Now that you know this is a simple method for making pureed soups, you can substitute almost any vegetable. Roasted squash with sage or roasted broccoli with cheddar all make delicious pureed soups. Add your own little twist with garnishes as crunchy croutons or a sprinkle of herbs. In the next lesson, we're going to cool down a little bit and learn how to make chilled soups for the perfect hot summer day.